Look closely at your smartphone or tablet when you're reading a simple page of text. The image looks perfectly still, but underneath the glass, millions of glowing red, green, and blue subpixels fire on and off 60 times a second to maintain that illusion. This relentless light emission takes a physical and technical toll. It drains your battery rapidly, causes noticeable eye strain over long reading sessions, and completely washes out the screen the moment you step into direct sunlight. Displaying a single static paragraph of text forces a smartphone to redraw that same data thousands of times every minute. Electronic ink, or e-ink, solves this efficiency problem. Found in e-readers like the Amazon Kindle, this technology holds an image on the screen using zero electrical power once the page is rendered. The effect is so absolute that you could load a single page of a novel onto an e-ink display, physically rip the battery out of the device, and that exact text would remain perfectly visible for weeks or even years. Modern screens rely on rapid motion to fake stillness. E-ink abandons the backlight entirely to achieve true, powerless physical permanence. To understand how a screen works without power, we have to look beneath the surface, down to a microscopic scale. The entire display is built from millions of tiny spheres called microcapsules, each smaller than the width of a human hair. This diagram shows the inside of one microcapsule. It's filled with a clear fluid containing two types of matter, positively charged white particles and negatively charged black particles, floating freely together. The process begins when a targeted electrical field is applied from the bottom of the screen. When positive charges are applied, they pull the positively charged white particles up to the top surface. From the outside, that tiny pixel now looks exactly like blank white paper. Flip the current, and the opposite reaction occurs. Negative charges pull the negatively charged black particles to the top, turning the pixel dark. By orchestrating millions of these microscopic capsules independently, the screen physically builds high-resolution text and graphics across the display. This mechanic relies on a core scientific concept called bistability. The system can rest comfortably in either the black or white position, without needing continuous energy to stay there. The moment the image is fully rendered, the electricity cuts off. The display goes completely dormant, but the physical particles remain locked exactly where they were pushed. Because the screen has no backlight, those locked particles simply reflect the ambient sunlight or reading lamps in your room, reacting exactly like ordinary ink pressed onto a page. The final image is a physical arrangement of microscopic matter, locked into a stable, energy-free state. Because the display requires zero upkeep to hold an image, the device reserves its battery power almost exclusively for the exact fraction of a second it takes to fill a page. As a direct result, an e-reader runs efficiently for weeks or even months on a single charge, despite using a significantly smaller battery than a standard smartphone. But moving physical mass through a fluid carries a distinct penalty. Toggling a microscopic beam of light is instantaneous. Dragging thousands of solid particles through a liquid introduces the strict friction of kinetic physics. This physical resistance translates directly to the screen's performance. Refresh rates are noticeably slow. Rapid motion smears across the screen, and faint ghost images of previous pages often linger while the particles settle into place. These kinetic limitations make e-ink unsuitable for fluid animations, modern gaming, or watching fast-moving videos. In an industry defined by screens that constantly refresh and consume energy, e-ink succeeds by doing the opposite. It simply sits still.